Welcome to Shelf Examination Podcast, where we examine the items found on the shelves of our local libraries.
My name is Joe. I'm the Makerspace Coordinator for the Southern Utah Libraries.
And I'm Sarah. I am the Reference Librarian and Nerdy Guru at the Hurricane Branch of the Washington County Library System.
And we are still in our Kaiju review. And we have just finished watching...
Mechagodzilla.
Yes. Which was this one called?
The
Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Which is actually the second Mechagodzilla movie, but we didn't have the first one.
Yes, and that's the thing. We are limited to our collections. And,
so the first one was Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Which
is fun. It is good, and it actually introduces some of the villains that appear in this one, but you don't have to have seen it to understand this one.
Especially since the very beginning of this movie recaps.
It's a fantastic recap. Yeah.
It goes through all... Now, did you watch the Japanese version or the English version?
Watch the Japanese version.
Okay.
But it was still the
both.
American edit.
Oh, very good. So you okay, we'll talk about what that means in a minute.
Missed that 30-second clip, yeah.
Yes. And I watched them both, and I watched the American version first. And the American version, over that recap footage, which is just basically the best fight scenes from the last movie.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's like, here's the epic breakdown, all the B story. Yeah, you don't need that.
No.
Here's the cool fights.
It was all the cool fights, but it had a voiceover the whole time. And the voiceover, I felt my IQ drop 2 points. That's
hilarious.
The dumbest thing. Godzilla, creature that we have no idea the origin of. Sorry, buddy, we've been over the origin four times.
We already did the origin
that comes from parts unknown. Why is it so understood?
It comes from the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. We know where it came. In fact, this is the second one, buddy. We've seen it once, and we've seen it twice. We know
where it comes from.
How could it be so indestructible? It's indestructible.
It's atomic.
Yes.
We've established this. We're good.
So the whole time that he was talking,
hilarious.
I felt myself getting dumber and
No,
dumber
the
just
Japanese,
listening to him.
there was...
And the Japanese one, there was no voiceover. It was
uh-uh.
just enjoy the footage, watch the credits, and it told the story well.
Exactly. It was
I liked it.
In case you missed it, here you go.
And it worked really well. So, I'm going to read the... well, we skipped a part. Normally, I like to do a little bit of chit-chat about what's going on in the library and stuff like that.
Summer reading program is in full swing.
I understand you. We are actually behind a couple of weeks on recording because summer reading's just been kicking your butt.
It has been kicking my trash.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. And you'd think I'm the reference librarian. I'm not over children.
No, you do a lot of that, though.
I do so many things.
You do.
But when our children's librarian is doing the programming and things, all of the rest of the staff jump in and fill in for her in the children's library.
Yeah.
And today we had arts and crafts because the national theme this year is Color Our World, which is basically
and we're
arts and crafts.
Yeah, we've got a coloring sheet that as they read throughout the summer,
they get to fill it in and makes it more vibrant and colorful.
It turns out to be a beautiful thing. I've laser cut puzzles for some people of the exact same pattern.
We have it, and every week we add the new color in so that everyone can see where
it's
the
kind
color.
of fun.
We love it. We love it. Our shirts we made our shirts so every Tuesday because we have an overwhelming...
Did you use our embroidery machine to make that?
Did.
Look at that. So we do have an embroidery machine here at this library here, which I think is an absolute... For me, it's 3D printing with thread, although
it's a little flatter.
2D printing but it's still very cool.
You can still do layers. The one on my back, which has a quote from Bob Ross, because the theme is art, and it says, "No mistakes, just happy accidents," and the tree is upside down.
Okay.
The design we did for it, and Caitlin made it, one of my coworkers. She's pro at Embered.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize anybody had mastered that. I just installed it and said go to, and you guys have been taking off with it.
Yeah, we've both been working real hard on it, but she found a cool way to do it. So the tree itself
has a little bit of dimensionality
to it. It has dimension in it. And
the letters, whenever it does lettering.
Follow it, overlaps with the way a pencil or a pen would overlap the lines.
I'm going to have to take a look at that when we're done
It's on the back. You can't see it right now.
Yeah, I can't see it right now.
Right now, the front just says Color Our World and it has a color splash on it. But
I have been working on this podcast. And I have pretty much edited everything that we've recorded.
Okay.
We are behind one episode in the uploads.
Right.
So I'm going to upload that episode, and then I'm going to edit this one. and then I'm going to upload that one.
Apparently, we've gotten enough notice that we've received our first spam for our podcast.
That is right. We got an email from somebody saying, hey, heard about your podcast. Wouldn't you like to promote it and contact us and stuff like that? Which, okay, I will tell you my opinion of this. If they are contacting you, do not.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Just don't.
But if you feel like, oh, I should find a company who does this and do your research and contact them, you're much more likely to have a good experience. So when they contacted me, all I did was I forwarded it to you and said, look at that, we're getting traction. Although from what I can see, we're not getting any views. Like the numbers aren't showing up there, but I have found this podcast in my podcast player on my phone. So we are discoverable. We just got to get the word out.
We're getting there. We got to do some promotion.
Right. And the first promotion, we're going to tell people here in the library about it and things like that. I may put it on my YouTube channel and stuff like that. We are not going to advertise this.
No, not really, no.
Because I'm trying to do this whole thing for $0, which is kind of fun. I mean, theoretically, we could be using the recording equipment in the library at the Washington Library.
And they have nice stuff.
I happen to have a not bad recording setup myself.
We're actually in the Hurricane Library, which does not have a recording studio.
No, we've kind of had to fake it with the sound room.
Yeah, we're actually in a study room, which is available to use for anybody. Just you can schedule it in advance online or just come in and ask for it. It's not a big deal. And it holds up to 8 people.
Yeah, but it is not sound.
It is not acoustically correct.
Acoustically sound isolated like the one in the Washington Library
that one is
is. That one we put foam all over the wall. You can walk into it and hear the echo just disappear.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
It's a dead zone, and it's got a nice.
It's not sound isolated.
No,
because we still have a window to the outside world, so sometimes trucks will come by and just.
Well, there's not a whole lot you can do about that.
Well, you can actually. What you do is you have a room inside the room with the air insulation, but we're not doing that.
That's
we're not doing that.
But it's still really nice. It's got a video recording area with a green screen.
Big old green screen, yeah.
And it's got the camera with the teleprompter. We have a mixing board, sound mixing board, the whole 9 yards. It's really, really cool. For any cosplayer out there, if you want to record your skit, there you go.
No kidding. And it's good for getting raw footage that you can edit later. But check out your local library. Let us know in the comments what you've got at your local library.
Oh,
and
it's amazing.
If you don't have great things, have them contact me.
Yes, it's so cool. Like we have we have 8 branches down here, and all of our branches have
a little bit of something.
They all have 3D printers, little 3D printers.
At least 3D printers.
The 4 big branches have dedicated maker spaces, and they're all different so that we can offer different things.
Right. The decision was we could either try to replicate the same makerspace across all of them, which would have been expensive because we would want our makerspace to be as inclusive as possible.
Not all
or
of
we
them
could
are the same
spread
size.
it out. And not all of them were the same size. Or we could spread it out. We chose to spread it out. And there have been people who are like, oh, I got to go all the way out to Hurricane to... Dude, I commute to Hurricane every day. You get no sympathy from this guy.
It's only 20 minutes.
No.
And it's interesting because here at the Hurricane one, we have the arts and crafts. And that's mostly because I know how to sew.
It made sense for the space.
Yeah.
And for the people who were here. Yeah.
Yeah. We had those of us who can sew and those of us who knew had a lot of the hands-on crafty things.
Well, as we said in other ones.
Yours is more of the electronic one.
Yeah. It's electronics and 3D printing and stuff like that. In fact, I'm working on a project right now. I'm probably not going to make a big video about this or anything. But I am currently suffering from plantar fasciitis, and it's making it. In fact, it might even be as far as a bone spur or something like that. But my foot is in constant pain, so I'm making myself a cane. But I'm not just going to make myself a wooden stick to lean on. No, I'm putting LEDs down it, and it's going to have all kinds of fancy little patterns on it, and I'm going to be able to push a button.
Now you need to go to a convention or something and just look all epic.
I think it would be amazing, and I haven't figured out if WLED, which is the library that I'm using to do this, it can do this. But I would love to load up a picture and have it show it progressively, line by line, and be able to walk across with my cane with a long exposure and have it draw in light an image.
Like the ones where you spin it around.
Like the ones where you spin it around. And also, I want to know if you can spin it around and do that. But we'll see.
Cool. That would be cool.
So that's a little bit more my speed, and also my speed is watching kaiju movies.
Watching kaiju movies. It's a whole lot better than chasing after 300 toddlers, which I did this morning.
What were you chasing $300 for?
300 toddlers?
Oh, 300 toddlers. I thought you said $300. 300 toddlers.
I wish it was $300.
I hope you caught it. Okay.
No. Today was Arts and Crafts Day, and we had lots and lots and lots of children.
Wonderful little children. I will say, I love the way the librarians in St. George, when they do their children's time, they go all out 100%, and it's so much fun to listen to.
All of our children's librarians are so creative. I love them so much.
They got that energy, and they can keep a crowd of little ones entertained. It is good stuff.
Oh, it's funny. I've talked to authors that do presentations and things, and all they have to do is look through a crowd and they're like, there's the children's librarians. Aren't you cute? And then they look over there. There's the young adult librarians. They've all got pins on their bags. They've got weird colored hair. We're like, yeah, that's us teen librarians. I used to do that. I was a teen librarian.
Yeah. And you still got a little bit of that energy.
Oh, I still do. I'm the loudest thing in the library.
I have no. My energy is very beige.
No, nuh-uh. You're very hands-on creative.
Well, I'm hands-on creative, but I'm a beige hands-on creative.
I don't think so. I saw you at the last staff development day running around trying to solve that puzzle.
That's true. I do enjoy getting the energy up every once in a while.
Anyway, back to Mechagodzilla.
Well, actually, one more thing.
Uh-oh.
It was my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. I'm kind of a little sad about it because it was 49 and I'm feeling like I'm getting older. Also with the foot,
What?
But
You're older than me? Nuh-uh.
I'm going to forever be older than you. But
Nuh-uh.
my family, a little while ago for Father's Day, they got me the Godzilla Escapes movie with a couple of other. But what it didn't have was the original 1933 King Kong. It had the Peter Jackson King Kong.
The long one, yeah.
Right, which it's fine. I like that one,
Yeah.
but I was like, I was hoping to show the kids the Peter Jackson one,
The
the
original
original one. Well, for my birthday, they got me the original one.
Yay!
And the Son of Kong.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
we can watch them both. The Son of Kong is a quick watch. It's only about an hour long.
The bijou flick.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. And it was still claymation mixed in with the live action. They were definitely still flexing those muscles. And they were doing it, I think, a little bit better than in the original King Kong. It's just the movie didn't have as much substance
it just
to
wasn't
it.
as well written. But the learning curve of the special effects were
Definitely
they've learned a
showing,
lot,
yeah. So let's talk about Mechagodzilla, the Terror of Mechagodzilla storyline.
Which, funny,
Yes.
when it was released in America, they changed it to Terror of Godzilla.
Interesting. I was trying to
And then
find
it went
what it was
back
called in
to-
America.
Yeah, it was originally called Terror of Godzilla because they
Interesting.
didn't think the name
Mechagodzilla
Mechagodzilla would
was-
grab it.
Well, it's funny to me because I really I knew about Mechagodzilla, but I don't think I had ever watched any Mechagodzilla movies from beginning to
You
end.
just missed out.
And I had a different idea of where Mechagodzilla came from than this movie. In fact, coming into this movie, I remembered some Godzilla movie that I had watched in the 90s where there was a girl in a fighter jet controlling Mechagodzilla remotely, and she had like some sort of psychic connection with Mechagodzilla. That was not this movie.
No. You were thinking of the ones from the 90s.
Because in this movie, let me read the synopsis from IMDb real fast so that we can give everybody who maybe doesn't know this movie an overview of it.
Now remember, this is the second one. The evil bad guys are the I can't
They're
remember what
aliens from the third planet of the black hole or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they actually have a name, and I wrote it down. Simians.
They are not called simians anywhere in this movie.
No,
that
they're
I was
only
able
called
to hear.
simians in the first movie.
Oh, were they called in the first movie?
Yeah, they were called simians in the first movie.
Because I don't want to.
And they just figured you knew it and didn't bother repeating it.
I didn't want to get too far ahead of it, but there is a scene in this movie where one of the aliens gets their mask ripped off because, of course, they're wearing human masks.
Yes, because of course they are.
Because they're not going to be like whatever. It's a way to save money. It's like, oh yes, no, this is my human mask, and then in a moment I will have. And what was underneath the mask? A dude with a dirty face. Like there was no makeup. There was no. It was just a dude
like
with a slightly dirty face.
It looked like they used what we call in theater. It's called liquid dirt. And basically, you take dirt and put like dark brown eyeshadow in it,
Yeah.
swirl it out, and then spray it on you.
I'm wondering if they had gone through all the effort of making just this beautiful textured look to their face, so
and
that
then
it
it
had,
melted under the.
and then it melted under the mask, and when he pulled the mask off, it just looked like a dirty face.
That's
I don't
what
know.
you got. Who knows?
Also, when I would have watched this on TV, it would have been downscaled so much
Yeah.
that the imagination would have taken over quite a bit.
Yeah.
But rewatching it now in DVD quality, it did not
No, it didn't,
do it any
didn't
favors.
translate it. No.
No.
No, I was really glad I wasn't watching it on like 4K HD because
We
that
do-
would have been so awful
These were made on film. I'm sure that a 4K rip exists of them somewhere.
somewhere.
All right, synopsis time.
Yeah.
A submarine expedition to salvage the remains of Mechagodzilla
Because
is...
you can't leave well enough alone.
Well, I mean, if you got alien technology sitting at the bottom of the ocean, you're going to go get it. I don't blame them at all for it. Is thwarted by a massive dinosaur named... Okay.
Titanosaurus.
If you're going to name a massive dinosaur, what are you going to name him? Titanosaurus.
Yeah. They were trying to do Titan, like the Greek.
Right, I
Titans,
mean, like we got gods and titans.
but-
And they're trying to say that this is even bigger than. And
Yeah,
he
than
was,
gods.
He
but-
was bigger
he
than
was,
Godzilla
but-
by like 4 inches.
Yeah, barely.
I mean,
but-
I'm talking about like
Yeah,
the
but because they can't say Titan, they say Titan.
Titanosaurus.
Titanosaurus.
I mean, basically, his name means
Big lizard.
bigosaurus.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, biologist Akira Ikonose, that is our pretty boy,
Oof.
sorry about that.
Ikonose.
Ikonose, thank you. Is brought by Interpol.
No. It's Ichinose.
Ichinose?
Ichi as in one.
Ah.
Ichinose.
Okay. Well, I'm still going to just call him Pretty Boy after this one.
That's fine.
Is brought in by Interpol as an investigation is launched. Pretty Boy's inquiry leads him to meet Katsuri Mafune, or Pretty Girl,
Katsura.
Katsura Makane, and uncover the work of her seemingly late father, aligned with the black
Otherwise known
hole
as
aliens.
the mad scientist.
Yes, it doesn't mention it here.
Shinzo Mafune.
He is a disgraced scientist who has been, and you know his need for revenge is what's driving the plot in a
I
lot of
must
ways.
destroy the human race because they couldn't appreciate my genius.
Oh, and let's see. He's aligned with the black hole aliens who seek to unleash a reconstructed Mechagodzilla 2, along with Titanosaurus, on Tokyo and defeat Godzilla. Not really. Okay, I got to correct the synopsis here. Their plan was to destroy Tokyo
It was to destroy humankind, but
Humankind.
Tokyo was the first stop.
so that they could build a new city on the wreckage.
Yes.
Essentially, it was a real estate deal.
Yeah, pretty much.
This
They
whole-
were like, we're just going to destroy this all, build our new capital, and clear
It
out
was-
the rest of humanity from there.
Now, first of all, okay, while I gotta say these aliens be scheming,
Oh yeah.
they were scheming aplenty in this, and I love it. There is a problem with their plan in that there's lots of open spaces.
Yeah.
Just settle somewhere else first.
Yeah, I was like, you could just take over Antarctica. There'd
Take
only
over
be, like,
Wyoming. Kansas. Nobody would notice you for 4 years at least.
As long as you build low enough to be below the corn line, no one would ever
Yeah,
see you.
yeah. Oh, let's see. So last line here. Ichinose heads off to save Katsura. Pretty boy heads off to save pretty girl
Katsura.
before she loses her humanity. Don't mention the fact that she's
She's
a
a
cyborg.
cyborg.
Yeah, to the monster she controls against Godzilla. So I gotta say, this synopsis is very largely B story based.
Yeah, it's completely about.
And this
yeah.
movie was very largely B story
Yeah.
based. I will say that the A story, the monster fighting, was not bad in this
Yeah,
movie.
it was pretty good.
When we got to it, there was some pretty good monster fighting. But the B story was, first of all, well tied into it,
Mm-hmm.
but also very engaging. We had a pretty
You
boy
actually
scientist.
cared about the humans.
Yeah, honestly. And then we had the pretty girl
Who happens to be the cyborg daughter of the mad scientist who is supposedly
Right.
dead.
I gotta
or
say, the
not.
scene where she gets cyborgized, and again, we're getting ahead of ourselves
was
a little
wild.
bit, but we have a flashback where she's flipping a switch for her father, and it ends up electrocuting her
Yeah,
to
she's
death.
a cyborg because she got caught because her father wasn't careful enough, got caught in a scientific experiment,
And
gone
then
wrong.
the black hole aliens show up out of nowhere.
Which is why he's working
and
with them.
cyborgize it. They're like, why were they there in the flashback? Why did they show up there? That had he already been working with them before that? I don't know. Not a lot was explained about why they showed up.
He was just suddenly the new bad guy.
She got electrocuted. They walked in, walked out, and rebuilt her as a cyborg and saved her life.
I was like, oh look, it's the beginning of the Bionic Woman.
Right. I mean, it could have very well been, except that they never really played into that fact that she is bionic. She's just, they saved her life and she's cyborg. It's a little bit like the Boba Fett series.
Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett,
which, by the way, is getting a sequel. They just announced.
I hope it's better than the first one, because the first season wasn't too great in my opinion.
That's what I heard.
But you know, he takes a girl and takes her to a body shop.
All puns intended.
All puns intended. Well, I mean, that's kind of like they had the vibe of like people who get a lot of piercings. Just they also put mechanics in their piercings, I guess.
Why not?
That's kind of the vibe that they were going for with this particular thing. And yeah, he saves her life by turning her essentially into a cyborg. She doesn't have any magical powers. She's just not dead. So I'm guessing that's what they were going with. Although she does have magical powers because she can flash her eyes. I don't know, like people are pursuing her, her eyes flash and they all go, ugh, and then they shoot her. That happens later. But yeah. Boy, okay, so parts of this movie were definitely weird. Parts definitely. I mean, for Godzilla, the idea of aliens and black hole aliens stuff, not unusual.
No,
aliens have been around for a long time.
And we've had all kinds of interesting things.
So Pretty Boy meets Pretty Girl. She is standoffish because he's asking about her father and she's trying to protect him. She says he's dead.
Oh, he's dead. Blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
but then she goes back to, oh no, she's told to go back to him to throw him off the scent or whatever like that. And he shows up and he's like, hey, I found some of your dad's research. And she's like, you care about my dad's research? And kind of melts her heart a little bit, or melts her metallic heart a little bit.
Yeah, it's like someone thinks he's not insane.
Yeah,
well,
and so she starts to fall for Pretty Boy a little bit, and he full on falls for her.
Yeah, but that boy cannot keep a secret.
No. Because he tells her about the one weapon that they have found against the big Bigosaurus.
Oh, by the way, Titanosaurus can't handle oscillating sound waves, and she's
high frequency sound.
Duly noted. So we'll destroy the one thing that can affect him.
And then later on, when everybody's like, you know, the only other person who knew about our high oscillation weapon was your girlfriend, buddy. He's like, no, she never did.
Her. She wouldn't betray me like that.
He's loyal to the end, and I think that it was that loyalty that enabled her to have her third act turn.
Yeah. But at the same point, I was like, dude, don't blab it to the world.
No kidding. Yeah, he's far too trusting and stuff. But
okay,
he loves her and
he trusts her. He's a marine biologist. He's not a super spy. So
he's a marine biologist, not a human biologist, apparently. One thing that I thought was interesting, there was a scene where she was talking to her father and bemoaning the fact that he was weaponizing this large hugeosaurus that they have got. That he's got the means to control the Gigantosaurus. She's like, you're going to turn him into just another world-destroying monster. And she lists off all these other monsters, and we can see footage from previous movies. There is one bit of footage in there, the footage for the Manida. It's this, it looks like a Chinese dragon. And he goes around things. I have not seen that movie, but I have seen that footage at least 4 times. Like, they keep reusing it in these movies.
I'm like, did they just stitch it from a Chinese movie?
I'm guessing what happened was it was in one of those that it wasn't in our collection.
And we just haven't seen it.
But they spent so much money on that effect. They were like, we are going to get our money's worth on this effect. Because it's a beautiful dragon.
That is pretty. What's it from? And
it's wrapping around the train and stuff like that, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks like Shenrong from Dragon Ball Z.
Because I've had 4 times to look at it, But eventually, the aliens put their plan into attack, and the Immensosaurus starts his attack.
Well, the first time when Titanosaurus attacks by itself.
Yes.
He actually
he attacks the sub that they were.
Yeah. Well, but he also sends it against Yokosuka.
Yes.
Which is just south of Tokyo. I looked it up. But
I do think it's it's great that we are finally getting a full-on attack on Tokyo. Is this the first movie that we've watched where they're actually attacking Tokyo?
They've done various prefectures of Tokyo.
Yeah, but now
not
he's like,
actually
we are
Tokyo.
going to actually level
We have
actual
seen-
Tokyo.
No, who climbed Tokyo Tower?
Yeah, King Kong.
King Kong climbed Tokyo Tower.
Was that King Kong Escapes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So that one doesn't count. That's definitely not this
But when
continuity.
he first attacks Yokosuka, the scientist sends him off without.
That's right. And the
getting-
aliens are like,
they're
don't you ever do
You're
that
supposed
again."
to wait for us. They were mad at him for it because he kind of gave away some of their.
Right. They gave
Intel.
people the opportunity to figure out what they could use to attack him.
Yeah.
But then they have their final attack, and he's attacking. And then the aliens, this is where I'm talking about the aliens are scheming. They look on their, it wasn't the radar. What did he call it? Some sort of funky device that is
Yeah.
not a radar, but it's totally a radar.
It's totally a radar.
And he sees a little blip, and he sees Godzilla approaching, and the guy's like, "Oh, that's going to ruin our plans." He's like, "No, not really, because Godzilla is going to fight Immensosaurus, and he's going to defeat Immensosaurus, but then he'll be weakened so that our Robosaurus, Mechagodzilla,
2.0.
yeah, can come in and finish him up." Great plan. Didn't follow through with it
go
because
through
they
it.
sent Mechagodzilla in to fight at the same time. Now, mind you, tag teaming Godzilla turned out to be a good
It did,
plan because
when
they
he
put him
was-
on the
when
ropes.
he was on Yokosuka by himself, Hugosaurus, Godzilla mops the floor with him.
Yes.
And so it's,
Well, and for a little while, there was one cool move when.
the best part is, except for the scenes where you see them together,
Yes.
all three monsters were played by the same actor.
You're kidding me.
Nope.
Wow, that
Nope.
guy's a legend.
That guy has been Godzilla in every Godzilla
I know
movie
he's been
so far.
Godzilla, and he was King Kong in King
Yep.
Kong Escapes. He's been a suit
Yeah.
actor for a long
But he
time.
played all three unless they were in the same scene.
That must have been a
same shot.
union thing. I
Same
don't know.
shot.
That's amazing.
I think that it was in the contract, so they could just only have to pay one actor instead of paying three.
Yeah, the other two were just part timers. So at one point, the Substantialosaurus is. I've got the thesaurus open here. I'm going to use a different one every time.
Cheater. I don't have that.
But he is attacking, and some jets are attacking him. And so, how's he take down the jets? He jumps at them and lets them smash into his chest.
Yep.
It was cool. It was.
I was like, what is it? Oh.
It was dumb because you could tell that he was like
Stupid.
hanging from a thread. But it was.
Yeah,
I was
the
like,
wire foo was not good in this
no.
one.
But I was like, did he just like chest smash the jets?
Did
That
you
is
even lift, bro?
that is flexing and a half. That was cool.
Behold my mighty pecs, now slam in your face.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, first of all, I'm gonna jump, but second of all, like, I'm gonna jump high enough for jets to ram into. Dang, dude, well done. That was cool. Then Godzilla shows up, and I love.
Yeah, I was like, look, we're WWF here.
I love that we have a scene. Godzilla shows up. He's fighting, the Stupendosaurus for a little while. And again, he's only slightly smaller.
Yeah, just a couple inches.
Just a couple. The suit's a couple inches. I suppose that would be a couple feet in Godzilla
It's the
scale.
same
But nevertheless,
actor, it's why they're the same size.
well, I mean, you can only do so much when you got a human being inside
It's
there.
true.
You
can
could
only
maybe
put
get
the
him.
lifts of so high on shoes
Exactly,
while you're
and
wearing a full suit.
Basically, he had a taller hat. is what the Huskyosaurus had going on for him. But then Godzilla shows up, and we have the scene where some dumb kids are like, "I'm gonna get close and I'm gonna go touch it." Freaking idiots! And then they take two steps. Things get bad, and they go, "Oh, save us, Godzilla!" And Godzilla jumps up and saves them. Godzilla, defender of the children.
What? I remember thinking, I'm like, oh, we've come a long way from
Yeah,
the
we
first
have
one.
we have definitely come a long way. Okay, so in the midst of this, Pretty Girl she's doing her best to interfere.
Well, they first they have the black hole aliens,
Yes.
and her father implant the control device for
Well, that's
Extremosaurus.
yeah. This is just before this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because what happens is she is out trying to wreck the instrument that's going to destroy the Whopperosaurus, and they catch her. She runs away. She flashes them with her eyes, and then they shoot her in the neck, and she falls off a cliff. And they collect her, and the they have to rebuild her. And at this point, yeah, they decide to put her in, or put the control for Mechagodzilla in her.
And this is where the American release and the Japanese release
Has
differ.
at least a part of a significant difference, because there is some full frontal nudity
Yep.
in this scene. Now,
Yeah, so be warned.
here's the thing. It is obviously a mannequin.
Yes.
Her head is sticking up out of the table, and she's got a mannequin
Oh yeah,
body
they
in
don't
front
even
of her.
they don't even try and do the angle. It literally looks like her head is sticking out of
Yes,
the table.
and so it is a
But,
mannequin
yeah.
chest that we're looking at, and also below the breasticles, there is a hole in her
Yes.
stomach. So it's very obvious that this is an effect. It's very obvious that this is not real.
It is, but they
said-
cut that little bit. It was like 35 seconds.
It got edited out of both the American and the European releases. Had I had this version as a kid, I tell you that part of the VHS tape would have been worn so thin. But it really surprised. Now, I recognize that this is a difference of cultures.
Yes.
That Asian cultures and Japanese culture particularly views the presentation of the human body differently than
Yes.
we do in Western society. And it definitely was not an erotic scene.
No, they were cutting her open.
Yeah, she was on a surgery table, and so it wasn't inappropriate for her to be in that state. Still, I had watched the American version, and of course I didn't see that.
No.
And then I'm rewatching it in Japanese just to kind of refresh myself for this, that we're going to do here. And all of a sudden my eyes pop out. Wait, what the? Did I actually? Was that? Yup, it was.
But it was mannequins. Anyway,
Again, yeah, it was mannequin.
But,
Listen,
yeah,
I studied it very
so
closely.
just-
No.
I'm going to tell your wife.
Oh no, please don't. No, it was just like, that was super surprising. But again, it took about 1 second of looking at it to go, oh, I see what they did. Okay, that's a dummy and all that. Okay, so there's no actual human on exposure here. At the same time, they could have put the blanket just a little bit lower,
Right.
But that's all right. Different culture. I'm not going to complain. And when it was edited out of the American version, I didn't notice that anything was
No.
edited
It was really
out.
not necessary.
It really didn't. I mean, it wasn't like it was gratuitous,
No.
but neither was it necessary. But then again, a lot of this movie is neither gratuitous nor necessary. But we got to pad the time with something.
I suppose. Okay, so Godzilla that mops the floor with Hugeosaurus.
So
and
there is something kind of interesting here. So we have established that Jumbosaurus is a pacifist. He would not be attacking if not for the thing in his mind. And yet he has evolved a perfect fan attack tail that can blow stuff down. First of all, he's in the water all the time. Why the heck does his attack move air that well? Number two, if he's a pacifist, why is this attack so effective?
I know.
I'm thinking
Maybe
too
it's-
hard about it. I
maybe
know I'm
it's
thinking
like-
too hard about it.
Switzerland, who's perfectly neutral, still having an army for defense.
That's true. I mean, if you are going to be a prodigisaurus, you need to at least be able to hold your own so that you can be a
And I mean,
pacifist.
if he's in the water, you can use that for propulsion.
Yeah. So, but actually,
I don't know.
Godzilla
I'm reaching
did
here.
not mop the floor with Super Colossal Saurus. He got a dirt nap.
He did.
He literally did. And the problem with this, so Mechagodzilla shows up and he shoots him with this brand new spinny missile that actually penetrates Godzilla.
Yeah, it like hurts.
It hurt and got in and knocked him onto the ground, and then he gets kicked into the ground and buried under the
Yeah,
earth.
that was when Mechagodzilla joined in. I was talking. He mops the floor with Titanosaurus when he first attacks.
Okay.
Before they attack.
Yeah. He puts him on the ropes, and then Mechagodzilla comes in.
Oh no,
and
I
helps
was
finish
talking
it off.
about the first.
You're
fight
right. There was.
in the Yokosuka, and then
Oh, I'm way ahead. Sorry.
yeah, and then when they attack Tokyo, yeah, they both attack at the same time. Which you
They
were
both attack at the same time.
All right.
Which their plan was to let
Do a
Godzilla
1-2
destroy the
punch.
Burleosaurus and then bring in Mechagodzilla.
Yeah,
But
it
no,
was-
they decided to do them both at the same. But it proved effective.
Yes, it
They
did.
literally buried
Struggle.
Godzilla.
Yeah, if Interpol hadn't intervened, we would be less down one kaiju.
That's true. But then we've got the Copiosaurus, and what's he
You
decide
are
to?
having too much fun with
I
that.
love the Thesaurus. What's he decide to do? He decides to dance on Godzilla's grave.
I know, right?
Like, you won. don't gloat, especially when Godzilla's involved.
Right?
If anything, put another mountain
On
top of him. No,
remember the
he's
part
just,
where we said he was nuclear?
yeah. No, he's just dancing
Literally.
on the soft dirt, and what happens?
You woke him up.
Yeah, Godzilla wakes up having had a rather nice dirt nap. Turns out it was an actual dirt nap.
Yeah, he had a power nap. He's recharged. He's ready to go.
Yes. Now, I love this fight. There's lots of things about this fight that's really cool, but I think the best thing about this fight is that he rips the head off of Mechagodzilla, and it doesn't stop Mechagodzilla.
No.
For once, the robot's head is not its weak point.
Right?
He can fight without the head, because a robot would not have
All of its
the
main
mechanics
components.
in the head.
Yeah.
It's not a human.
No.
Puts them in the chest.
See, and you know what?
I love that part.
When they started designing Gundam,
Yes.
the Gundam series, the cockpit is not in the head.
No.
It's just cameras. All the head is for is guns and cameras.
Yep. It's a good way to whip your view around.
Yeah. They put all of the major components in the chest. And when they were asked the guy who invented and developed
Gundam.
the Gundam series, the original one, and they asked, why did you do that? It's so different from what everyone else expects, like Transformers. So you
Sure.
see the cartoon,
Voltron.
Voltron, crush the head, you're dead. But he said, I saw Mechagodzilla and I thought it was a better idea.
It's an idea that has always made sense to me since I was a kid, because my thought was, if you
It's more protected in the chest.
Well, not just more protected. If you have a robot, back in my mind, the CPU unit is big and bulky, and then all the extremities, even the head, is just animation on top of that. So it made more sense to me that the chest would be where everything was, and with Mechagodzilla, it was. And I was so happy that
Like,
rips off the head and he keeps going. So I loved it. That fight, there were actual pyros.
Oh, yeah.
And hand-drawn cartoon fights on top of the pyro. Dude, let the pyros rock, man.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was you have the.
But
the
there was a lot
pyrotechnics
going on
up, you
screen.
have the pyrotechnics going up, and then they animated over it extra plumage.
I understand, like when Mechagodzilla's eye beams shot out. Okay, that had to be animated, and they did a lot of eye beams for 1 second and back to pyros. Loved it. It was so amazing. And Godzilla was on fire.
This is the time when they were really starting to develop all over the world. They were starting to develop rotoscoping.
Oh yeah.
So
for animating things. Yeah.
Like Ralph Bashki's his Wizards and Lord of the Rings and stuff. That one didn't come till the 70s. This is where they were first developing into it, where they're coloring over, animating over on the actual film.
Yes.
So they're developing that. So I think a lot of that was, hey, look at this cool new thing we can do.
That's true. Well, yeah. Did that exist in other Godzillas before this?
Not really.
No, it did. There were other Godzillas that had certain hand animated aspects to it. I think there was one with as far back as Mothra, but it was just electrical effects and stuff like that, or things when they would transform or something, that it would have this moment of hand drawn. Okay, cool. There was also one of them that we skipped, was Godzilla versus the Astro Monster, which he was a slime monster.
It was a slime monster.
And whenever he
ugly.
changed form, it was very obviously hand animated. Now I don't know if it was hand animated on the film or if they used a different process to expose
I'll
it.
admit that I don't know.
But what I'm saying is this was definitely not the first time that it was used.
No.
And it kind of distracted from the awesomeness of the pyros that they were doing. But at the same time,
So I have to ask.
yeah.
When you saw Mechagodzilla, did you expect to hear the Transformer sounds when he was moving around?
Well, some sort of robot sound when he moved around, and there really wasn't a whole lot of that. No, Foley work had apparently not developed at this point.
Oh, okay.
It was the 70s. They had Foley work back then, but no, they could have done better.
Yeah, I was just I've been spoiled by my 80s cartoons.
Well, and I'm kind of curious. Now, we aren't going to be... In fact, I'm looking at our list here, and we have a couple of Gameras in our collection, and that represents pretty much all of the Godzilla from the 80s to the 90s that we have, or not Godzilla, kaiju movies that we have available to us. Meaning, I know that after this point, they do kind of a hard reset, and there's another era of Godzilla, and that is where my Mechagodzilla experience came
Okay,
from
yeah.
with the girl flying
Yeah.
the jet
Yeah,
next to it
exactly,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. And we're gonna skip all of that because it's not in our collection. But I am kind of curious to go back and watch it and see if they
See how
added
much you
more
remember.
robo sounds, among other things. But
Yeah.
did they add the robo sounds to Mechagodzilla? I don't know. I'm curious to know. But they
know.
definitely weren't doing a whole lot of that in this one.
No, I didn't see a lot of the 80s ones because when I was growing up, they weren't really showing those on TV. They were mostly showing the earlier ones.
When
The
I
ones
found
from
out
the
when that one
78 and earlier.
Yeah, when I found out when that, well, I had a friend who had access to imports. And so we watched a lot of like OAVs on DVD, or actually, no, Laserdisc.
Ha ha!
So we watched a lot of the imports and stuff like that. And so I think he must have gotten like this new Godzilla, and I didn't realize it was new because at the time, all I knew was that Godzilla existed. I didn't realize that he existed on a continuum, nor that he existed in a continuous cinematic universe that...
Forever, man.
Yeah.
Godzilla's older than Doctor Who.
Well, this movie, though, represents the end of the initial
The original,
Godzilla
yeah.
cinematic universe.
Yeah.
And then it gets a reboot in the next movie.
Yeah.
And then the next movie, though, interestingly, still claims the 1954 Godzilla as part of its continuity. And so it's a branching continuity at this point. I don't know. It's still a second. I did a little bit of research on this. It's still a second Godzilla that shows up in this next movie, but it claims to be a continuation on the 1954.
So it's like an
Godzilla.
alternative timeline?
It's an alternative branching timeline from the original movie.
Oh no, we're moving into the MCU.
Well, hey, listen, I don't mind too bad if Godzilla Raids Again is not necessarily the only second movie that followed up that movie. This one might be good. I don't know.
I'll have to try it. I haven't seen that one, I don't think.
Yeah. So let's see. What other notes have you got? We are almost at the end of the movie at this point.
Yeah,
and we have the
Interpol
big...
has to come in. Oh well, we have the evil scientist appears and he captures Ichinose.
Yes, Ichinose tries to go pursue the mad scientist because he finds out that the mad scientist is still alive. And actually, is he going for the mad scientist or is he trying to get his girlfriend?
No,
I'm
he's
not
trying to
sure.
get his girlfriend.
Yeah,
I thought
probably.
he was going after her,
But nevertheless, he gets captured by the black hole aliens. He gets taken to their base. He gets tied up. He sees that the scientist is still alive. Now, I will say he reacts kind of badly to that. He should have been like,
lied to me.
yeah, because he should have been like,
What are you, a sheep?
dude, I've been reading all your research. Dude, if he'd have fanboyed a little bit, maybe
That would have been a little more.
yeah, maybe the mad scientist would have been like, hold on, let the man talk. And he might not have gotten tied up, but no, he got tied up, and black hole aliens are like, if you sit there nicely, we'll let you watch the destruction of your city.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. What kind of reward is that? I'm going to still try and stop you, which he does.
Yeah, well, Interpol shows up, because Godzilla's on the ropes. Interpol shows up, saves Ichinose, and they wipe out the base that the black hole aliens are in. The last few black hole aliens try and fly away, but Godzilla...
But between this point, there's one very important point that happens in the movie at this point is she's got the control for Mechagodzilla in her. She's been shot in the Interpol raid.
Yes.
And she's sitting there in his arms and going, there's no way we're going to win because I've got the controller for Mechagodzilla in me. I have to die. So we've set up this noble sacrifice that has to happen. Now, first of all, I'm going, you've got the control unit in you. Why don't you just like
turn it off?
Control him to stop fighting or something.
Yeah,
apparently she didn't have that level of control.
I remember watching that part, and
it's very clear that she was being controlled
Yes.
when she was also the controller.
Yeah, but I was reminded of the first Captain America movie, the first Avenger, and where he's like, oh, I'm going to take the plane into the ice. I'm like, there are 14 other things you can do. But it's more dramatic this way.
Exactly.
As they say in the real trailers. It's more dramatic this way. He didn't have to, dive into the ocean and die, but actually not die,
There are
it's more
certain
dramatic this way.
things that are done in certain stories because they have the end written before they start.
Exactly.
And you can tell when that happens because something like this happens where you go, no, really, seriously, there's an option C here. I think there's
and D
and D and E.
Option M.
Yeah, so she's in this moment of like, I have to, and he's like, I can't, I will never do it.
I will never hurt you.
And
I love you
she
too much.
grabs she reaches over clandestinely, grabs the gun behind her, and shoots her own dang self. That moment, I was like, that was
Dies
amazing.
in his arms.
And dies in his arms. And as soon as she dies, Mechagodzilla shuts down. Godzilla takes care of him. All of a sudden,
You
now
slag.
now all he has to do is fight the Hugosaurus, and he is wiping the floor with the Hugosaurus. And he's wiping the floor with the Hugosaurus so bad that when the black hole aliens, as you said, try to escape,
He's like, nah, and just hits him with his...
casually,
just
in the
went, "Oh,
middle of
there."
holding the Colossosaurus in a headlock, goes, I'm also going to destroy
I am
these
really,
aliens.
really mad at you. I already fought you in the prior movie. You did not learn your lesson. I'm just going to atomic breath you out of the
It
universe.
almost felt to me like they were like, oh crap, the aliens are still around. Are we going to take care of these things? And they just animated like a Godzilla breath out of his mouth
He
from a
just
different
belches.
shot,
Yeah.
so that they could justify, oh, okay, there we go. He destroyed
The
the
last
last ones right there. So that takes care of that. That part felt so, but again, we've already had the noble sacrifice.
Yeah.
We've had the third act turn, and now it's just a matter of cleaning up everything. But it really was kind
I
of.
laughed so hard because he was like, it just the whole idea of it, he's holding it in a headlock, and
I'm in the middle of fighting you. Oh, what's that? Pfft, never mind.
he turns looking, it's like, not on my watch. Blah.
Yeah.
And then, okay, back to what I was doing.
It's almost like he was
And
like,
of
oh
course-
man, those burritos from lunch. Oh, sorry, what was that? It was so.
Anticlimactic.
Yeah, and just kind of off to the just offhanded.
Yeah,
like
man.
Godzilla's going to solve all of our problems now that the girl is dead.
And you know what? The funny thing was, they're like, Godzilla's here, and I'm like, does he have like a red phone that you just call him up? Hey, come save us from the kaiju again?
This is something that will come up in later movies, and it's come up before. But Godzilla does have like a threat radar.
He does.
And he
It was
knows
just like-
knows when there's a fight to be had, and he will migrate to it. This gets worse in the modern Godzilla movies.
It does.
And they don't ever. I mean, they do actually explain it. They're like, he knows that there's a threat. How? Yeah. Why? Oh, he just knows.
I understand that this is Hollywood, quote unquote, science, but at the same point,
It's like the opposite of plot armor. It's plot radar. He's like, we need to move things forward, and so
here
I'm
I come
going
to
to
save
start.
the day.
And it's weird because in one of the later Godzilla movies, I don't know, we'll get to it because those ones are definitely in our collection.
Yes.
He does it. He fights a monster that had just been sitting around for a long time so that he can absorb his power to have enough power to fight another monster that wasn't yet coming or wasn't yet there, but was coming, but he must have known that it was coming. So he needed to go and, like Mega Man, power up his powers before he goes and fights the main boss that wasn't there, but was
instead of getting E-cells, he has to kill something else.
How'd he know that? Why? Because this monster wasn't a threat.
ESP or ESPN?
Yeah,
or
he's
something?
got to have. He's got plot radar. That's what he's got. So yeah, the movie wraps up after we have the noble. And I gotta say, okay, on the first watching, that noble sacrifice seems stupid.
Yeah, I was like, there's
On
a
the
million
second
other ways.
watching, I was like,
Yeah, all right.
I see what they were. Now that I knew that it was coming, and I could see the setup for it, and I could see how they made it necessary. I was like,
atoning for lying to you about my father. I'm
Yeah.
atoning for my father's evilness. I've got to atone.
I'm atoning because I'm a bad cyborg. And I also love the line. I don't remember what he said in the English version, but in the Japanese version, he looks at her before she shoots herself, and he says, I don't care that you're a cyborg. I love you anyways. Which, if it weren't cyborg, that would be a really nice line.
Yeah.
You know, cyborg just isn't a word that rolls off the tongue for that sort of line.
not really.
Also, keep in mind, cyborg just means that she got some robot parts in her.
Yeah,
As long as
she's
she got the
bionic.
necessary fleshy parts still. I think it could work.
They could use
I think it could work.
bionic. They could have used. There's a lot of words I could use
Yes.
besides cyborg.
Yeah, they kept on treating it like she was all robot
But she's
with
not.
the memory of a little girl. But when we would see the electronics, there was always, okay, I think it was supposed to be her heart or lung or something in there going, but it was very obviously a cloth bag that they were just blowing into or something, you know?
Yeah.
But she's still very fleshy.
She bleeds.
You know, she bleeds and stuff
they
like that.
established that. She bleeds.
So I don't see that her be like, I don't see, oh, you being a cyborg means that nobody will love you, but I'll still love you. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, we got cyborgs nowadays. People with cochlear implants and
Hip replacement.
My mom's a cyborg. She got a whole new bionic knee. You know,
Yeah,
it
or-
doesn't allow her to run faster. Unfortunately, she
Aw.
tried.
You've got people with pacemakers.
Yeah.
You've got people with all kinds of things.
Basically, that's what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I still love you anyways. Boo. Big stretch there, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice try. But he still loves her, and that was the point of it. And she was still lovable at that point, but she had to die to...
It's more dramatic that way.
It's more dramatic that way. It's more dramatic, but it was also setting it up for... They set it up well for that.
Yeah, it wasn't out of the blue nowhere.
No, it wasn't like, this is the only way. No,
No, it's really not.
It really not. But in this case, they set it up so that would be the way.
It would be the atonement.
So
moment.
yeah.
But you could have done it different.
It did leave the whole movie with kind of a downer.
I know. I was like,
You
you
know,
know.
I came away from it not with an up feeling. It was still a good movie.
Yeah.
But if I have the chance to watch it or another movie that leaves me with a more up feeling, I might go with a more up. I mean,
Yeah.
King Kong Escapes would still be my next best.
I will say another funny, interesting fact about this movie. Right before they started filming it, they had a Shinto priestess come in
I saw this
and
picture.
performed a purification on the set to ward off evil spirits away from the monsters.
Why? I mean, great.
I
No,
don't know.
fantastic. Love it. I don't see anything wrong with it.
But it's never mentioned in any other,
It was
set or
kind of
anything.
surprising to see this monk and a whole bunch of costumed actors standing in front of him. I was like, this is something
Yeah,
else.
you see the monk, and then you've got the two little priestesses.
Well, and
behind
there was a
him, and-
woman standing next to them who was, I don't know, their handler or something like that. But it was also a weird picture of a human-sized woman next to a human-sized Godzilla and a human-sized Mechagodzilla. I was like, is this a really big woman or a really small Godzilla? No, this is natural size. This is BTS right here. That's what we got going on here. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
It was cool. I was just like, I wonder why they felt they needed to do that. Other than they just wanted it to be extra blessed. But
I mean,
I don't
lot
know
of
how
times.
it did in Japan, but internationally, it was one of the lowest money-making Godzilla
This
movies.
may be why they were like, okay, we're done here. And I also wonder if they
It was like
brought
the
back.
DC New 52 idea to reboot.
Yeah, well, and I wonder if they brought back Mechagodzilla specifically for this one because they were like, hey, people like that. Let's try and do more of that and see if we can. But then they full on dismantled Mecha. Although the way they dismantled him, they could probably have humans rebuild him and have him fight alongside Godzilla
have
in the
the
future,
technology.
which is what they did in the 90s.
Yes, that's exactly what they did. Another thing, in the original story, Oversizedosaurus was supposed to
Nice.
be two different creatures.
Okay.
And for budget reasons, as well as a obvious plot hole that they couldn't fix, they combined it down into one.
Okay. So their original plan was to have Godzilla versus two monsters of the week plus Mechagodzilla, like
Yes.
just upping the stakes like
Yes.
crazy here.
And they just couldn't make it work.
Well, I
And
imagine that
which
would
is
have been
part of the
an epic
reason-
fight.
Part of the reason why some of it you're like, no, how do we get from A to B here? Because originally it was ABC, but they took the middle B out and made C.
Oh man, I've got to rewatch it with. Well, I don't know if I'm going to rewatch it, but I did not notice that. I'm kind of curious I mean, a lot of these movies get disjointed at times.
They do, and a lot of it is either due to editing or because from one nationality to another, or
Right.
or
And that's what I was gonna say.
lost in translation, or because of rewrites and budget cuts, and no one's checking continuity.
Because a lot of times whenever I'm watching one of these movies, I'm already working so hard to catch up, especially if I'm watching it in another language
Yeah.
and reading it. I'm working so hard to catch up that a lot of those things can just slip right past me and I don't notice them. So yeah, if there were huge continuity errors, I just was too busy. I didn't notice.
Terrible.
Okay.
You know, it was just sometimes in the writing, it would be like, oh, this is gonna have. Never mind.
You know, there were a couple of times where they were like, okay, like when he's gonna go after his girlfriend,
Yeah.
and then he's just all of a sudden there. Mm-hmm. Like, how did he know where there was?
And it's
it
probably
was his old house. Because
No.
they had moved to the mountain base by
Yeah.
now. So yeah, okay, there's one. I think I'd have to go rewatch and see if
And
that
it
really
could
is
have
one.
been
But
where originally they followed one of the monsters back or whatever, but it got cut.
okay,
So who knows
that makes
why.
sense. Yeah, or maybe they followed the monster back or something like that. But yeah, anything else?
No, I laughed in points that I probably wasn't intended to be laughed at, but
That's
I
what
was
some of these
entertained,
movies are good for.
But it wasn't the level of entertainment like King Kong Escapes.
King Kong Escapes was pure entertainment. I still love it. It was
so bad. It was epic.
Yeah, it honestly wrapped around to being good. It was sincere bad, but it was it was bad.
We're bad. We know it. We're having a good time with it.
Okay, so we got our lists.
Oh,
We got our rankings.
Yes, you ranked Kong Escapes a lot higher than I did.
I did rank King Kong, but we both agreed that King Kong Escapes is better than this movie. So
Yes.
we know that this is not in my top 3 or your top 6. So are you going to put it above or below Rodan?
There were a few pretty epic moments in this one where Rodan only had one epic moment.
That's true.
And there was if I was going to just go on the B story, it would definitely be this one above Rodan.
Definitely. This one had not only was it a more substantial B story, it was all B story.
Yeah, it connected, and they interconnected. You wouldn't have A story without B story.
That's correct.
So I think I'd put it above Rodan.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see. I'm not sure where this one goes. It definitely does not go above. So I've got King Kong 1933, King Kong versus Godzilla is number 2, which you have King Kong 1933 and then Godzilla 1954 as your number 2. My Godzilla 1954 got bumped down to number 4 for me because I put King Kong Escapes at number 3.
You were just so entertained.
I was, and it wasn't just that I was entertained, but I felt the need to share this with others.
Everybody.
Everybody. I now own that movie.
It's so bad, I must share.
I must share. Well, it's not like, you know how when you stick your fingers in something and you smell them and they smell bad and you're like, oh, hey, smell this. No, it's not that. Okay? That's not what I'm doing here. That might be what I'm doing here.
Are you sure? Are you in denial?
I might be in denial a little bit. All right. So after Godzilla, but it's definitely not better than Godzilla 1954. Mothra versus Godzilla. Again, this is one that I keep on having to go back and be like, what happened in this movie? It's definitely going above my number 6 pick at Godzilla Raids again. So the question is, does Mothra versus Godzilla go before or after Mechagodzilla? You know what? It's going before. As soon as I said the title, as soon as I said Mechagodzilla, I was like, of course Mechagodzilla is going before the giant moth. The giant moth was fine, but it is not a Robo-Godzilla. I'm sorry. Robo-Godzilla trumps moth.
Trump's giant moth.
So there we go. So that puts it at the number 5 spot for me and the number 6 spot for you. These are interesting lists. I kind of enjoy how we've.
Kind of digging it.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun, but we've got a place for that. Our next movie we are now getting into the 1990s. We are jumping ahead. We're skipping the 80s entirely, unfortunately, because there are none of them in our collection at this library.
Right.
And this is the Shelf Examination Podcast. So we are jumping ahead to 1995's Gamera Guardian of the Universe. Or Gamera. Sorry, I said Gamera. What the heck did I say? Gamera Guardian of the Universe. So this is going to be a huge jump, and it's going to be interesting to see how 90s kaiju we are missing so many in this, and I definitely think that outside of
Are we
this
gonna do-
podcast.
Are we going to do the Matthew Broderick Godzilla?
It's in our collection.
I'm kind of excited.
We-
I want to
we-
pay on that.
Definitely could. Yeah, absolutely. There's a
No,
lot
I have
going on
stories
there.
about seeing that. I saw that one in theaters.
I
And I
think
have
I did
stories.
too. Yeah. Well, if I didn't see it in theaters, I saw it shortly as
No,
it came out
I
on
saw
home
it
video.
in theaters.
Okay, we're going to talk about it. Well, we've got 2 Gamera movies in the meanwhile. We've got Gamera,
Yeah.
the Guardian of the Universe, and Gamera 2, Attack of the Legion, and they are both in our
Yes,
collection.
they are. I've shelved them.
So, in fact, yeah, they're in this branch.
Yep.
We share our collections among all the different branches of our library. So,
Which is really nice because then we have one giant collection available to everyone, but everyone can still have their neighborhood library.
yeah. And if you want something, it's really we've got a nice little
System.
shipping system
Yeah,
between
we have
all
a
of them.
wonderful courier that takes things around every day. And
Yeah, and so we figured out a way to make it. Basically, we have one big happy library spread out among 7 different buildings, and
8.
that's 8 different buildings, and that's very, very, very cool. But yeah, I think that's the plan for next time. I think we got this all in the can, so that's it for this episode.
Yep. So.
Oh, is it my turn to take
It's
us out?
your turn to
Yay,
take us
I'll
out.
be the outro. So,
right.
my name is Joe.
And I am Sarah.
And we invite you to do some shelf examination at your local library.
Thanks for tuning in.